Hey everyone, so I'm going to be going over the latest Japan update, including the collabs and a couple of new things that came. Not much has really changed. There are some decent banners this time around, and if you were ever interested in starting in Japan, now's actually not that bad of a time, but just keep in mind that Japan has been really iffy as of late, so heed that as a word of caution. So, I got Merlinus up right now, and she is one of the collab units that recently got her Kaigen. And she has 5 gates open to her, and I'll just quick show off the gates that I opened right here. She's 55250, and I think that this is the most economical way to build her. I could always raise the gate 3 to 3, but I really don't want to spend the collab Kaigen frags quite yet because there's a possibility that I might want them for something else because a ton of collab units have been getting Kaigen recently. I'll actually make a separate video on her because she's actually pretty freaking insane. Don't let the Bard fool you. She's actually a really powerful unit. Um, yeah, I just gonna tell you right now, 15k AoEs, just straight up 15k AoEs. Anyways, let's get into business. So we got the Disgaea collab, the Brave Frontier collab, and the Crystal of Reunion collab, and all three are running at once, and all three are vying for our gems. Now, I can't quite show off all the banners because I already pulled some of them. As you can see, my gems pretty much don't exist anymore. Once upon a time, I had a ton of them, but they finally managed to get them out of me, and one of the ways they got them out of me was today on a 7-step. It did start with a 500 1-step that I got nothing on, and I proceeded to get trash pretty much all the way up to step 7, but I did get myself 270 Kaigen collab frags and an additional 150 Merlinus frags. Now, I did frag Merlinus and Arthur to 85 before I started, just so that way I could use those frags towards the Kaigens themselves. It's kind of wasteful to do both, but I just figured just in case, it's probably for the best. So, this unit that you see right here is Julia, and she's from the same prequel questline that Emil and the other guy, the lightning dude, whose name I cannot remember off the top of my head. It's like Ku Iana or something like that. And this is Lunaris, and she is from the Brave Frontier collab portion of it. Now, you don't necessarily have to get Lunaris from this banner, unlike the most recent collab units, which have almost all been from frag banners. That 7-step that I was pulling on had all 3 collab units in it, so there was like a total of 12 or something, and each one had a 0.5% chance. So every single time it was a 6% chance just to get a collab unit. If you were starting in Japan and you wanted Lunaris, you do not have to pull this frag banner to get her. Unfortunately, because Gumi, or at least DMM, put a new anti-cheat on here for some odd reason, I can't use this pop-up thing anymore because it blocks all pop-ups, and it also blocks other things from launching, including DMM itself for some reason, because I normally close out of DMM to reserve resources on my computer. It's kind of stupid. Anyways, so as always, we've got our 9-step limited Nenso banner that Gumi can go screw themselves and pound sand. I'm not pulling on this because it's not Itsuki. We've got our standard 5-step collab Nenso banner, which probably once you get to step 5 and beyond will give you an additional copy each step up to 10, so you can max limit break it. This is a Nenso banner that will give you a 5-star guaranteed on each step from a certain region each time. We had this banner during the New Year's banners when all this banner shenanigans started. This is actually a good banner, but I just would have rather spend it on the units at this point. Because the odds of me getting the actual Nensos I want, most of them are after step 4, and I just really didn't have the resources to pull on this like I really wanted to. Now, here we are at Emil's banner. It's bait. This dude's banner, also bait. And then you have the Merlinus banner. And the Merlinus banner is actually phenomenal because you are actually guaranteed Merlinus on step 3 and then an additional 50 shards on step 5. That's really good in this day and age. We don't get those very often. And Merlinus is an extremely powerful unit. She is compared to the likes of Ultima, and honestly, at this point, she's probably more powerful now that she has Kaigen. She has an insane 50% HP, 30% magic attack leader skill. Makes her very good for water teams, and as I'll showcase and preview her in a different video, you'll see that she's actually a pretty nuts unit. So then we got our standard frag banners, and then our standard normal pool banners. And for the weapon banners, if I read this correctly, the collab gear for Vargas is actually guaranteed on step 3. So there is that. And I have heard that Vargas got an upgrade. I don't know that much about it yet, but I hear that it is pretty decent, and he actually might be worth a Kaigen. So that is the major changes in the banners. So let's go and hop into the secret shop so I don't mind. So this is the standard prequel shop. It's basically got nothing good. I bought out a couple things that I needed for Zenny, but nothing else. Then we go into the collab shop, and you'll see that we have this 1500 paid gem box, and while it does have these Kaigen materials, 1500 paid gem seems a little steep for this box. I'm not gonna lie, it does seem a little steep. It's got your basic frags, it's got the Prinny swords, which I may or may not buy. I'm leaning towards no, because Prinny water's shaping up pretty decently recently. There's just no reason to run Prinny. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. These are the collab units that actually have Kaigen right now. We'll be getting more units with the collab units with Kaigen next week. I probably won't make a video on it unless one of them is absolutely nuts insane. And since I already pulled on banners and amount of gems, I'm probably not getting anything anyways. So, this is the big new thing. These, from what I understand, are limit break materials on regional Nensos. And the reason this is important is because those limited Nensos that were really hard to max limit break, this gives you a way to do it. Problem though, this is for 1500 paid and it only gives you 1 limit break. That's really steep. That's really, really steep. And it's unfortunate that it's so steep, but it is what it is. So this is our standard Kaigen shop. Nothing of super high value here. Oh, wait. Oh, they started letting you buy 3 of these again. For a while there, they're only letting you buy 1. But at the end of the day, that's not a huge deal. So the newest character skin is Silma, Spica's sister. And I don't think Silma ever really got any better. So there is that. And these bottom 2 shops, so the one is a throwaway and the other is your basic shop. Now let's hop into the coin shop. This guy event is back. So we have the item world shop. And these collab Kaigen materials are pretty tempting. These aren't. As you can see, I have a ton of them. These are always a good buy if you can get a hold of them. The gear here, honestly, the only one that's worth is the gold katana, but I already have the gold katana, so I can ignore that. And the rest of the stuff, you already know what's in here. Let's take a look at the whale coin for this week. So if you are a mega whale, you can get a select ticket, and that has all of the available collab units this time around. And for the Nenso pick ticket, it looks like it'll give you either the BF Nenso or the Julia Nenso, which goes to the Julia unit, who I mentioned earlier. And the rest of these looks pretty standard to me. Nothing too far out of the ordinary here. So for the shop for the Vita Tower this month, we've actually got a really, really good shop. All 4 of these weapons here are basically best in slot for their weapon type, as well as the Teddy. And as for Job Plus, we actually have a really good month because we have Dorothy Job Plus and Maya Job Plus in the shop. So those are both seasonal events that are hard to get for the Job Plus. So if you were to start in Japan and you rush down Vita, and you can do Vita in less than a month from a starting account, I did it in 20 days myself. You could get yourself some seasonal Kaigens if you wanted to start. Nothing too super special in our EX shop. And yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the shops go. So let's go ahead and take a look at the events. So we're running all 3 events here. The events themselves have some pretty good drops, some pretty good materials. I got to go back and redo these because I was still relatively a new player back when these events came around, and I couldn't necessarily clear all of them to the best of my ability, at least that I can now. Merlinus' staff is actually a slightly better version of Ultima's staff, so if you ever do get this collab, you're going to want to make sure you grab at least 1 or 2, if not a couple more of her staff. Arthur's armor is just a load of crap. Only Arthur uses it, and only Arthur uses it if he has 3 slots. So he has to basically be 85 to even want to use his armor. We've got all the EXs for the Disgaea collab, and the Brave Frontier has a new EX related to Lunaris. I'll go back and do these again because I only ran it once on auto. This shouldn't be too hard to hammer out. And we have this EX Plus, it looks like, that I have not tried yet. And I don't know if I'll make a video or not, but we get one of these every single time we get a new collab, and basically these are normally pretty difficult stages. Now we have the character test stages, and basically what these are good for is giving you a couple shards and 150 gems, which is so we have the daily free leave stage back. And basically what this does is you run it, and it'll guarantee one of these big leaves and possibly 1 or 2 of the smaller leaves. The big leaves are worth 120 AP, the small ones are worth 60. So if you do this each day, you'll get yourself some nice free AP. I've already burned through a couple of leaves myself, and I have on the higher side of leaves, but I had 120 at one point in time. So they've really been pulling the leaves right out of me. And for the Nenso event, it's or the VCR rotating stage, it's basically just the new Nensos. We don't seem to have a regional set this week, which is a bit of a shame. I prefer regional myself. For Advent of Phantoms, it sounds like you guys will be getting this soon, so just know it's worth a lot of AP, and it is a pain in the ass to do. It does seem like they have separated the collab one because Advent is normally a daily thing, but the collabs stay around for the duration of the collab, so you can do it on any individual day. And now that I think about it, I totally wasted 15 Kaigen frags because I totally forgot to do the Advent for her. So there's that, I guess. So that's it for that. In other news, I already completed my panels, but they had a Chloe panel out that gave like over 300 of her shards. So if you have a brand new Chloe and you're starting out, you can basically get her to level 85 almost immediately. And if your Chloe was already level 85, it's basically a free Kaigen. Chloe is a powerful unit in Japan, so if you were starting out, you'd have access to a rather powerful unit early, as her Job Plus is always available. It is permanent. Now, we are on double drop hard quest this week, so I'll be able to finish up my Miyoliki among other units. And I think that's the gist of the big changes. Trying to think here if there's anything else I missed. We got the next chapter of the prequel thing. I don't even think I ever finished the first one, but there's that. And this is what the UI looks like. You go through the quests one by one, and for each area that you complete and you get a star, it adds up, and then you get the bonus rewards when you reach a certain star rank. And the 35 is basically a perfect 5 on all of the stages, which there are 7 of. And then once you complete the normal stage, you can move on to the hard one. I could pull it up. And there's less stages this time, but the actual things themselves are much more difficult. For instance, in this one, you need to clear with all thunder units, and you have to clear with units with a glove, katana, or axe in your party only. Now, it does look like there are shards that drop from here, so I don't know if you can actually pop these units based on the shard drops, but my understanding is the shard drops themselves are pretty pathetic and really not worth the time. does look like I have some of these coins, so let's go ahead and pull one of these real quick. So I got 10 of his shards. And it sounds like one of the cats just knocked over the vacuum cleaner based on the sound I just heard, so I gotta go check that out in a moment. So, yeah. I mean, the rewards are okay. You basically, my understanding is that you run this boss and you can get the coins to upgrade it, and the bosses are similar to the raid style of boss. Although I haven't done the hard mode boss yet. Mainly because I'm just not that interested, because they made these units so unobtainable and annoying to get. I just basically lost all interest in it, even though I am interested in the story. I can't read Japanese well enough to actually justify going in and looking at all the grunts and things they do while they go through to just try to make kind of somewhat sense of the prequel itself. So, I really don't have much else to add at this point. I really didn't get much from my stuff today. I did get the Disgaea Almira, and I don't know if I'll raise her or not. I'm going to have to take a good look at her, because I have a hard time believing that they actually upgraded her enough to justify raising her. I mean, I'd absolutely love to, because, I mean, look at this. She's adorable. She's absolutely adorable. And I'd be even more happy if I could raise the Samurai class and it was useful, because I love using that class when I play Disgaea. It's one of my favorite earlier game classes because it has a lot of physical attack, and anyone who's played Disgaea knows that Disgaea is all about hitting them numbers. I also, during my attempts to get Rosa, the Succubus Rosa, I pulled Killia pulled Killia twice, which is unfortunate because A, I really don't like Killia that much, and B, even if I don't have many Dark Shards left, so if I was going to raise anyone, I'd probably do like Lunaris, a new unit, because the problem with these older units is that their kits are outdated in general, so even if you bring the numbers up to where they need to be, they still lag behind a little bit of the current units, just because the kits themselves aren't as powerful as some of the new units. Like, Merlinus has a very potent kit. She's got a drain dimension on it, and with her Kaigen, it basically lets her keep the drain dimension for an extra turn because she gets buff duration +1. So she gets drain dimension, and then she can hit twice before she has to use it again to get more magic attack back. And her base is so high already. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's just kind of where we're at right now. So for the next couple videos, I'm definitely going to be doing Merlinus, and I'll also be doing Rusha, and that's because you guys just got her, and I just want you guys to know that she is a very powerful unit now and in the future. Having Overdrive on a Magic Controller, or a Magic Meister, as you guys may call it, is really powerful, because getting the snowball started is one of the more annoying points of the class. And having Overdrive gives her the extra damage she needs. She also has a rather unique job enchantment, which gives her thunder attacks inside of that actual job itself, which will also give her extra uses. However, Bruce has changed a little bit in Japan. She actually doesn't run the snowball anymore, but you guys will be running the snowball, at least for the near future. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening as always, and I will at least have one more video, if not two, out today. So, hope to see you next time.